So we are filling up the freshwater tank, even though this weekend we are staying at Alum Creek with primarily full hookup. So why are we getting fresh water? Well, we'll explain. So I just got us all hitched up, ready to go. This trip's a little bit different. We had it planned months in advance and we reserved a full hookup site at Alum Creek. Last minute, we were able to actually add a night and go a night earlier, which happened to be a Friday night, which Alum Creek in the summer is extremely busy. It's always packed. We were still able to score a night. Someone canceled, we were able to get a night. So we have one night with electric only, so we filled up the fresh tank with water, and then the next 3 nights will be full hookup. But what makes this trip a little bit different, we're not really going to be doing a review of Alum Creek since we've done that before. We'll put the link up here, so if you want to check that out, you can see Alum Creek, one of our favorite state parks. But this video is going to be more about what have we found that has gone wrong with our trailer. Now that we've owned it for a year, we've had this Grand Design Reflection fifth wheel for 1 year, over a year now. We put thousands of miles on it. We actually even went out west. We went to Colorado and South Dakota, went to Rocky Mountain National Park, Custer, Badlands. We did a lot this year, which that content is coming. We will get to that. If you couldn't tell, this is coming to you in real time. It's September 2021. We still have all of spring and summer to get to you. We are way behind. We've had a very busy year, and this is not my full-time job. This is my hobby, so bear with me as we get these videos out. But this video is going to be more about what have we found with this trailer in the past year. What would we like to see different? How has it worked for us? And also what has gone wrong with it? What repairs have we needed to do or are in the process of doing now? So we will show you a little of Alum Creek, gotta show the camping trip, but we are gonna, while we're there, talk about things that have gone wrong, what we've needed to do to repair them. So stick around, it's gonna be a fun one. Made it to Alum Creek. We are all set up in our site. We're in site R8. This is a pretty nice site for being a last minute one night cancellation that we were able to get in here. So plan for tonight is just to relax, have dinner, enjoy our extra night, and then tomorrow we're going to move over to the next site. And we did talk to the rangers when we were checking in. They said as soon as that other site is empty, we can move over there. Don't have to do anything else, so it'll be really nice. Hopefully we can get over there and set up in time to watch the Buckeyes game. So that's our plan for today. Probably won't do anything else until tomorrow. So day 2, we are up and ready to go, but the site we are moving to, apparently they're taking their time getting out of here, so they're pushing it right till checkout, which I totally understand. We do that all the time. So we're doing the final touches. I'm packing up to move over there. So while we're doing that, thought I'd show you the first couple minor flaws that we've found or things that have gone wrong with our reflection. So starting very minor, right here is one of the only spots where the skirting comes together on the entire trailer, and this screw right here just keeps coming out. I've already replaced it with another metal screw. I'm going to have to probably just put a bolt to clamp that together. While we're down here, this connection right here, this screw actually sheared off and the entire sewer assembly was just kind of bouncing down here. Now fortunately it's strong enough where nothing bad happened, but I did find that and had to drill a new hole, put a new screw in there. So like I said, very minor problems. But it is a good reminder to check up and down the side, just do a bolt check and just make sure everything is tight, nothing's coming loose, because you never know what bigger problems those might make. So that's it for this one. We're gonna pack up, move to the other site, and we'll show you a couple other things that we've dealt with. Again, we started minor. So we successfully got moved over to our next site, B29, but that was a little more dramatic than we had anticipated, because the people before us that were in this site found a hornet's nest, and we found this out by talking to the neighbors. They found a hornet's nest built in their slide. So when we pulled in, they had just got done cleaning out this nest. I don't know what they did. There were hornets buzzing around, wondering what happened to their home. We have been dealing with hornets from the moment we backed in here. Talked to the park office, there was no other sites available, nothing we could do. I think they were just, the hornets were confused, looking for their home, trying to find it in my camper, trying to get in every nook and cranny they could. We've used like 3 bottles of Raid just trying to keep them away. So a little dramatic getting in here, but here we are. Not as beautiful of a site, just because typically when you get full hookup, you're going to get a little closer together, a little open to your neighbors. Just seems to be the way it works. Electric only sites tend to be more beautiful, at least from our experience. So now that we're here, now that we're settled, we got all that drama over with, I can share with you a couple things that have gone wrong with this reflection in our first year of ownership. The biggest thing that we encountered, and the first thing, was actually with our automatic leveling system. The system, I guess, wasn't calibrated properly, and we were nose down even after we leveled out. So what I had to do was go into the system and manually recalibrate it. Once I had the trailer level to where we wanted, I had to resave those settings. Now this is not an easy process. If you're not comfortable getting into the electronics of yours, don't do it. Have your service professional do it. But I felt comfortable doing it. I looked into it enough to do it on my own, so we got it re-leveled. Being unlevel wasn't the major problem as far as comfort goes. The problem with being unlevel is our shower, we also found out was problem number 2, was not sealed properly up at the front by the door. So when we were nose down, the water was running forward, coming up over the lip that should have been sealed, and it actually got the floor wet and seeped into the bedroom and got the carpet wet. This all happened on our first trip in this, so we figured all this stuff out. So that was the first major issue we had, but it was a simple fix. Just simply got some sealant in the shower, sealed that up, and I recalibrated the leveling system. Now we're level. We haven't had any problems since. So we're back inside for the next problem we found. This one was on the very minor side, and actually still has not been properly fixed. The dresser drawer slide was not functioning properly. It had been bent, and some of their actual ball bearings in there had come out and fallen out. I had to press the ball bearings back in and bend it in place just to get a working drawer until we could get it in for service. They claimed that they were going to order parts, said yeah, we'll fix that, no problem, but I don't think where we went actually ordered the part. It was General RV. I think they had some problems with some employees over there, so I don't think the part ever got ordered. So we're still waiting to get that fixed, but they did bend it and manually repair it, so we at least have a functioning drawer. So now it's our last day, getting ready to go, dumping the tanks, cleaning things up. So I thought I'd bring up a couple last things that have gone wrong, and these are the most major that we've had. The first one we discovered was the skylight in the hallway has a leak. They looked at it, General RV did. They said it's cracked, it's going to need replaced. So what they did is they just patched it while they ordered a new one. That has not come in yet, has not been installed yet, but the patch has held really well. It's been a few months, there's no leak, no water anymore. So that was a major one, but that was covered under warranty. So that'll be a non-issue, it's just a matter of waiting for the part to come in. I don't even know why there's a skylight there instead of a window, because if you look up here, I don't know why there's no window in that hallway. They had plenty of room to put it in. I would have rather have a window that I can open and close the blinds, control when it's open, when the sun comes in, as opposed to a skylight, which does let in a lot of natural, beautiful light, but I can't control it. It's either I put a foil cover on it so that no light comes in so it doesn't get the rig hot, or it's completely open, full sun, full hot, good light. So I wish there was a window there, give us one more place to look out, but at least there is some natural light. But that was another big major flaw that we are getting taken care of, was that leak. So another major thing to go wrong was when we were boondocking in the Badlands. I went to open our window, it shattered. So that just happened. Sliding the window open and it shattered. It's not good. Didn't hit it, nothing hit it, didn't touch it. I was just sliding it open, but it's a friction style window that's just sitting there rubbing against metal. I don't know why they designed them that way. It just shattered in my hand. So that's a pain. It was after warranty too, but we contacted Grand Design and they said they will cover that. So they're sending us a window. However, that's been 2 months and we're still waiting to get this window. I know it's been a busy year. Everybody's behind, parts are taking forever, but still, I was kind of hoping to get it sooner than 2 months to get this thing fixed and repaired. The thing that concerns me is the main window on the back is also that style of window. And yes, I do take care of them. I keep them clean. I use that lubricant for these sliding windows, and still this happened. I have no idea why, but at least Grand Design is standing by it and replacing that window for us. So we are back home now. Our trip is over, but Alum Creek was so much fun. If you've never checked it out, I would definitely look into it. If you haven't watched our review video, I'll put a link up here so you can see Alum Creek for yourselves, because it was fun. We went for so many bike rides, scooter rides, walks. We went out to the lake, just enjoyed the views, really had a nice relaxing trip. But now that we're home, I thought I'd show you a couple more things, and I know we were on to more major issues, but I thought of one more minor issue that we did deal with. And we had to get back down here under the slide to take a look at this. The mid stabilizing jack had an issue with a connector pin. It would come loose. It kept slipping apart, which would cause an error. So every time it went to engage while we were using the auto leveling system and it got to the mid stabilizer trying to come down, as soon as it tried to come down, it would lock up the entire system. And in order to reset this type of system, if you've never had this, you have to retract all jacks just to be able to start over and clear that code. I don't know if there's another way to clear the code. I haven't found it yet, but it's just kind of a major issue that we had to start over every time this was happening. So what I did for now, I just simply taped it up to hold it together because the connection's fine. It just kept slipping apart. The clamp is broken. I'll show you the one on the other side that I didn't tape to show you what it's supposed to look like. But again, minor issue. So now we have to head back inside to talk about the most major issue that we've had yet. This was an electrical issue. We found out there is one fuse that controls all of our monitors, the tank monitors, and plus the hot water tank, being able to turn all these on and off. All of this all of a sudden would shut off. Every time we plugged into shore power, it would trip that fuse. So we're in here in the mid bunk, which is where our fuse box is located. What would happen is every time we would unplug or plug back into shore power, our 7.5 amp fuse would blow. We had no idea why. It just started happening out of the blue. But then a couple days later, after we had dealt with a few blown fuses already, the lights in the front of the camper stopped working in the bedroom slide. Both the reading lights, the exterior under LED lights, they're like almost like a night light or like a work light, those stopped working. We thought maybe it's a whole separate issue. So it actually got progressively worse to the point of where it wasn't just blowing a fuse, it would not stay lit. There was some kind of short that every time we even tried to replace that fuse, it would instantly short that fuse out. It would just spark, blow a fuse. So I stopped wasting fuses, thought we'd look into this issue a little more. I tried to look at it on my own. I took the panel off, saw if there's any loose wires. I did find there was one of the switches was a little bit loose, but it was not the one that was causing the problem. So I went ahead and replaced it while I had it out. So since this was a little over my head, I thought I'm going to wait to take this in to service and let General RV take a look at this. So this actually happened before our Alum Creek trip, but they could not get us in for service until after. So we went the whole weekend with this fuse being blown, which means no lights in the front slide. But more importantly, it meant we could not turn on our hot water tank. So the water heater was not working. We had no hot water all weekend. So fortunately, Alum Creek has nice shower houses, so we just used those for a nice hot shower. Evan did choose to stay in here and take a cold shower or two. So it was kind of funny going the weekend without it. It was not a big deal. It didn't affect our trip very much at all. It was just a minor inconvenience when you're used to having your own camper, your own shower with nice hot water and hot showers. That's really the reason we get full hookup. We went without that this weekend. So we took it in to General RV, dropped it off, let them look at it. He had taken very good notes of what he had to do. He actually traced the electrical from the fuse box itself and from the monitor panel, found out that the lights in the front actually were on the same fuse. He followed the cord, couldn't tell even where it went. He even contacted Grand Design. They didn't even know where this extra wire went. So he traced it all back, went back and forth, did, testing, and come to find out there were actually a few wires that had just somehow completely come loose in that front slide and were just laying on the floor. I have no idea how that would even happen, but it did. And that caused a short. Something else was going wrong. He actually ended up replacing a couple wires. So they got it working. No more blown fuses. Everything worked. The panel worked. We could turn on the hot water again. All the lights outside were working. So it ended up being a very time-consuming process for them just to go through and look at it. But in the end, it would have only cost us a few $100s. But they submitted this to Grand Design to see what they would think. And wouldn't you know it, even though it was out of warranty, Grand Design covered it. They figured this is something that shouldn't happen, and they covered it. Now, you can't count on Grand Design covering every little thing that goes wrong, but this is another reason why we love this company, that they're going to stand by their product. They can't promise things aren't going to happen, but if they feel like it shouldn't have happened from the start, they will stick by it in most cases. So, good experience so far from Grand Design. Oh, and on that note, the window came in, so we're going to get all that replaced. So they got the wiring fixed, everything's great, right? Not quite. We got home and we found out when he did all that rewiring, you notice the blue lights are on? I now cannot turn those off. Something that he did, he accidentally bypassed the on-off switch that is in the storage compartment so I can turn these off. So now we have a permanent nightlight. And you might wonder, how did I miss this before we even came home? Well, when we did our walkthrough and we checked and made sure everything worked, the slide was in. When the slide is in, I can't see those lights. They are hidden underneath there. So unless I would have pulled out all the slides just to look, we wouldn't have found it. So I reached out to General RV. I'm sure they're going to work us back in to get this problem corrected, and I'm hoping they can get that new window installed while we're in there. I don't know, but we're hoping. They've been extremely busy. So, like I said, minor inconvenience. Constantly have a nightlight on. So all things considered, we've had some minor problems and we've had some major problems. But so far, I have not spent a dime repairing any of them. Every time I thought I was going to spend some money to get something fixed, I was either able to do it myself or Grand Design stepped up and covered it. It really also goes to show that if you do your maintenance, you stay on top of things, you're not going to have problems to begin with. Because yes, we get the bearings repacked every year. We have it inspected. All the wet bolts and all the suspension, everything we look at. Even tightening the lug nuts on your wheels is important. And in my case, I double check my hitch components and make sure everything is still tight and hasn't wiggled loose. So just some good maintenance can prevent a lot of these problems. But when you do have a problem, it's good to have a company that's going to stand by their product and help you through any issues that you might have. So altogether, it has been a great experience owning this Grand Design Reflection. There's really not a lot design-wise that we would change about this except for maybe that window in the hallway or lack of window in the hallway. We have loved traveling in this. Towing has been a breeze. Setting up has been wonderful. We are absolutely spoiled with this beautiful fifth wheel. And in fact, we've already talked about whenever we downsize and we don't want something quite so long because the kids are not going with us as often, we're probably going to go with another Grand Design, but we might step up to the Solitude. But for now, we are going to enjoy this trailer and all the thousands of miles we are still planning on putting on this. Speaking of which, we've already done quite a lot. We go all the way out to Colorado, South Dakota, Wyoming, and then we even go to Florida again, amidst some other local camping trips. So a lot to bring to you still, so stick around, subscribe if you haven't already to make sure you don't miss all that stuff. But until then, we will see you next time.